What is going on, you guys? In this video, we're going to talk about something we don't talk about in the TTM world. We're going to talk about who's signing autographs right now through the mail. I'm going to give you 10 guys that are signing right now through the mail. Some take longer than others. Some you might have to pay a couple bucks for here and there. But if you do the tips and tricks that I'll tell you in this video, you should get everything back that you send. I wouldn't send anything crazy expensive like a jersey or something that means a whole lot to you, because there's always that chance that you could get lost here or there, and there's always a chance that they just stop signing, because after all, people do stop signing at the blink of an eye sometimes. I will also do another thing that you just don't do in the TTM hobby. I'll put their addresses down below. So we'll see what kind of heat or feedback this gets back. This is a series I'd love to start doing. I'd like to maybe do this maybe once a month or once every 2 months. Give y'all 10 different people that are signing their fan mail. So what we got, all of these people I've seen returns from this week, and then have verified that there was returns this week from them. So the first is Rusty Wallace. You know, Rusty Wallace is a NASCAR legend and a NASCAR Hall of Famer. In the past, I've got him a couple times, and he tends to take a long time. I think one of my returns was even out for a little bit more than a year. So there's that. Steve Yzerman, Hockey Hall of Famer, can be tough. From what I've seen here and there, a $20 bill goes a long ways with him. So if you send him a 20 and a card or two, you should get your stuff back. So that is very nice. NBA Hall of Famer Dan Issel. He's another guy that's a lock to get via TTM. One thing I've seen with Mr. Issel is he will not inscribe Hall of Fame. I haven't seen a whole lot of, if any, Hall of Fame inscription items via TTM, so keep that in mind. Next is Atlanta Braves legend Ron Gant. I know when I was a kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, Ron Gant was a big deal, man. He was a freaking stud for many, many years. And he's been signing his fan mail for quite a while, so he's normally good for 2 cards. Any of these guys, don't send them 3, 4, 5 cards, please. That kind of ruins it. For a lot of people, you know, 1, 2 cards. I'm normally a 2 guy. That's kind of what I send. On rare occasions, I'll send 3. Never send 4. Never send 5, unless I pay. All these TTM projects I'm doing right now, you know, I'm paying anywhere from $80 to $100, $200. I'm giving them to sign a ton of cards, and that's a different story because you're paying them. So we left off on Ron Gant. Dave Righetti, New York Yankees legend, current San Francisco Giants pitching coach. He's another guy that signs fairly often, but it doesn't. Let me see. He signs, about 2-3 times a year, so you're not going to mail it off this week and get it back next week, is what I'm saying. This is probably my biggest shocker on the list that I'm surprised is signing. You don't see a whole lot of current players signing, and you don't see a whole lot of current great players signing. But Blake Snell, the ace for the Tampa Bay Rays, he's been signing his fan mail for a couple months now. I cannot imagine that going on very long. So get on that one right now. Next is new Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Mike Mussina. The Moose was one hell of a TTMer during his playing days, and now he still is a very good TTMer. And from what I've seen, I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, if you want him, you need to send him $10 per card, which is one hell of a deal, man. He adds his Hall of Fame inscription. So I've seen people get a baseball for $10. I've seen one dude get a jersey for $10, a card for $10. So I don't know if that's something he's pretty strict on, but it seems like about $10 per. Next is Ryne Sandberg, Cubs legend, baseball Hall of Famer. Same thing applies. From what I've seen, he's 1 per. It doesn't matter if you pay him or not. You know, I'm sure if you up the ante a little bit and send him, you know, 20, 30 bucks, I'm sure he would sign 2. But typically a $5 or $10 bill will get you a Ryne Sandberg autograph through the mail, and he's another guy that does not inscribe Hall of Fame. So keep that in mind when you're sending whatever you want to send. 2 more on the list. The next one is current Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr. He does sign his fan mail. It does take a long time. He typically signs it all at one time at the end of the year, which right now the NBA playoffs are going on, so the end of the basketball season should be over in about 18 months, because that's about how long the freaking NBA playoffs seem to last. No, it should be over in about a month or so. So if you're going to get him, you might want to send him now, because if you wait 2 months, you might have to wait, quite a while to get it back. Next is something that I thought was really cool. Wasn't even realize he was signing, and someone I'm going to definitely send out to. But baseball legend, in my mind, the great Bobby Valentine. If you see some of his highlights or lowlights, whatever you want to call them, on YouTube, man, that dude was a character. So one hell of a baseball mind, and definitely someone, if you're a baseball fan, like an actual fan of, Major League Baseball in the sport, and I think he's definitely awesome and must have TTM to have in your collection. So there you go. There's 10 of them. Rusty Wallace, Steve Yzerman, Dan Issel, Ron Gant, Dave Righetti, Blake Snell, Mike Mussina, Ryne Sandberg, Steve Kerr, and Bobby Valentine. So there's 10. So if you like this and you want me to keep this thing going, maybe another 10 in a couple weeks or a month or 2 months, let me know down below. This is something you typically do not see in our hobby. TTMers typically don't like to share any type of information. I'm just as guilty as the next guy of that, if not more. So till next time, adios, be safe, bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out.